Hello students. Today we will discuss the topic change of state by changing the pressure. As we have already talked about the different states of matter. You know what are the factors which decide which state of matter will exist? Yes, it is nothing but the intermolecular spaces and intermolecular forces of attraction which decide which state of matter will exist. For example, in case of solids, we talk about the case of solids, the intermolecular spaces are very less and intermolecular forces of attraction are very strong. They are tightly bonded to each other. The different molecules are chemically bonded to each other very tightly. In case of liquids, the intermolecular spaces are little large and the intermolecular forces of attraction are weak as comparison to solids. In case of gases, intermolecular spaces are very large, the particles are very far from each other and the intermolecular forces of attraction are little less. Little means they are very less because the particles are very far from each other. We have already talked about the change of state by changing the temperature. In that also we were changing the intermolecular spaces and intermolecular forces of attraction by applying pressure, by applying temperature, means by increasing temperature or by decreasing temperature. In this lecture we will talk about that how pressure affects or how pressure help us to change one state of matter to another state of matter. Let's understand. I have taken some gas in a cylinder. Okay, so you know the interparticles, intermolecules you can say, they are far from each other. The spaces are very less. So here, while with the help of piston, what I am doing, I am compressing the gas. Compressing means I am increasing the pressure. Compressing means the pressure is being increased. Okay, one thing more, when we increase the pressure, heat is evolved. When we increase the pressure, when we compress the gas, what happens? Heat is evolved. Now, to remove this heat, how we will remove this heat? We can remove this heat by decreasing temperature. Decreasing the temperature. So for this applying pressure, the two main things we require, while increasing the pressure, the temperature should also decrease. We have to decrease the temperature. Okay, how we can decrease the temperature? We can keep the cylinder in a cool water container, right? So here what I am doing, I am compressing and side by side I am cooling it. I am cooling it with the help of any other method. I can place this cylinder in a like this. It place this cylinder in a like this water bucket. You can say water container. We can place it cold water. Okay. So what will happen when I compress the cylinder? What happens to the intermolecules? They start coming closer to each other. While when I compress it, what will happen? The intermolecules, they start coming together to each other. Means the intermolecular spaces are decreasing. Again, I am compressing it. I am compressing it and simultaneously I am cooling it. Why I am cooling it? Because when I apply the pressure, some amount of heat is evolved. To remove that heat, we have to cool it, we have to decrease the temperature also. What will happen? These intermolecules, they are very much close to each other. Now these intermolecules they come very close to each other and their intermolecular spaces are as in the case of liquids, and it converts into liquid state. So gas, here gas is, I have this gas, the gas in the container, by applying pressure, Means by increasing pressure and by decreasing the temperature, it is converted into liquid state. So two main conditions are there. When we change the state by pressure, we should increase the pressure and simultaneously we have to decrease the temperature of it. Now the question arises where we use this method. How we can use this applying pressure? We can change the state of gas from a gas to a liquid by applying pressure. We can use it in the liquefaction of air. Okay, so we will use this in liquefaction of gases. In this, what we will do? Because air is a mixture of gases. In this, we compress the air and we convert it into liquid form, and with the help of fractional distillation, we will separate the different gases from it. There is a question in NCERT that suggests a method to liquefy a gas. How we can liquefy a gas? In a case of gas, the intermolecular particles are very far from each other. Means to liquefy it means to change its state. To change the state of gas to a liquid, what we have to do? We have to bring the intermolecular particles close to each other. How we can bring them close to each other? By applying pressure. We can do it by applying some pressure on it. When I will apply the pressure on it, what will happen to the intermolecular particles? They will come together, they will come closer to each other. When I apply the pressure, what will happen? Heat is evolved, yes, heat is evolved, and simultaneously I have to do the cooling process. It means I have to decrease the temperature simultaneously. So when we liquefy a gas, when a gas is being liquefied and filled in the cylinders, we use these cylinders at a home also. We use as a LPG, CNG. What they are? They are the compressed gases. We compress the gas and we keep them in a cylinder. Now cylinders we are using that are of steel. Okay, so the method for liquefying a gas is by applying pressure, or you can say that by applying the high pressure. The very high pressurized we have to do, and by simultaneously by decreasing the temperature, we can liquefy the gas, and we can use these compressed gas cylinders for our daily purposes. This is the complete table for the change of state. When solid is converted into liquid, it is known as melting. When solid is converted into liquid by increasing temperature, it is known as melting. When the liquid is converted into solid by decreasing the temperature, it is known as freezing or solidification. When the liquid changes into gas by increasing the temperature, it is known as vaporization. Or when the gas is converted into liquid by decreasing the temperature, it is known as condensation. Also, when the solid directly converts into gas, it is known as the process sublimation. And when the gas is directly converted into solid, it is known as desublimation, or it is also called deposition. Deposition or desublimation, these are one and the same thing. So in this way, we can conclude that pressure and temperature, these are the two main factors which can help in changes of state. Means by changing the temperature and by changing the pressures, we can change one state of matter to the another state. Why we are changing the state? We are changing the states for our convenience. For example, I have talked about the change of state by applying pressure. So, why we are pressurize the gas? Why we are filling it in a cylinder? We are filling it a cylinder so that we can transport that gas for our purpose, for our usage in a very convenient way. So, these are very necessary that we should change the state of a matter by changing the pressure, also by changing the